This is the Daily Thunder Podcast. Welcome back. I'm your host, Ryan Woods, and we are back to talk about Oklahoma City losing tonight to Memphis at Memphis, 122-113. Before we get to the game, I'm here with Brandon Rahbar. Before we get to the game, hope you're staying warm and safe, and things are going well for you wherever you're at, wherever you're listening from. Brandon, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. I am staying inside. I'm not battling this snow apocalypse. No thanks. But yeah, it was a good night for the future of the Thunder's draft picks. That's for sure.
It really was. So Oklahoma City loses 122-113 at Memphis. We'll get into the game here in just a minute. But just to update you, Oklahoma City is now 11-17. Miami blows a 20-point lead, loses in overtime to Golden State. That is a double win if you're keeping track at home. Miami falls to 11-17. Miami played in the finals like 4 months ago. They're 11-17. Warriors go to 16-13. The Magic get a win tonight. The Hawks get a win at Boston. The Rockets lose to Philly. They are also 11-17. So Rockets, Miami, and Oklahoma City. Hate the way I just said that. Houston, Miami, Oklahoma City, 11-17, all tied. And then, Detroit just about got a win over the Bulls tonight. And then Washington beats Denver for Washington's third win in a row. They're up to 9-17. So they've got the same amount of losses as Oklahoma City and just 2 more wins. And then Minnesota, that would have really capped the night. They lose in overtime to Indiana. A very close game. But yeah, Brandon, why don't you take us through where Oklahoma City stands on Tankathon, where the draft picks stand, and how many they have right now?
Yeah, so if the season were to end tonight, because there's a 3-way tie with them, Houston, and Miami, they would end up with a 6, 7, 21, thanks to Golden State, 36, and 50, which would be an incredible haul in a historically deep draft, especially the talent at the top. Now, obviously, you hope that 6 or 7 conveys to a top 4 pick, one or both of those do. And I think there's going to be a lot of 405, 918, and 580 area codes going to tankathon.com over the next couple of days, because you can have some fun with it, seeing where the Thunder could end up drafting. But things are setting up very, very well for the Thunder. I just wish the Rockets wasn't top 4 protected, but it's exciting that even in a worst case scenario, that Miami pick that's unprotected, that they're picking up all these losses. Even if they do end up making the playoffs, it very well may be as an 8 seed. So, that could end up being a 15 seed or 15 overall pick, which would still be really, really nice in a worst case scenario that the Houston pick doesn't convey.
Yeah, for sure. And Houston's been without Christian Wood now for about a week, maybe a little more than a week, and they really struggle without him. They've taken some losses here in the last 7 to 10 days, and if he's going to be out a while, they're going to continue to drop some games, more games than they win for sure. So I think that Houston pick, as long as Christian Wood is out, I think that pick's going to get even better until it may become Houston's pick inside the top 4. We'll have to keep an eye on that. So let's get to tonight's game. Oklahoma City, first of all, travels day of because they weren't able to get out of Oklahoma City last night. Portland also. Portland traveled to New Orleans today for their game. So Oklahoma City, there was a clip of them that played post-game of them walking into the arena at 6:15 p.m. That would be, I'm assuming that was Central Time. So, yeah, pretty close to game time, very abnormal, very out of their routine. And I thought Oklahoma City played, getting Shai back tonight, played a solid game, had great effort, all things considered, and put up some numbers, and they just ran into a Grizzly team that just made a really, really good push there in the fourth quarter to separate themselves.
Yeah, they really did. You got to be happy with the Thunder's effort after a day in which they traveled and the plane landed an hour and a half before the game. I know anybody who's been on a plane, I mean, it takes a little bit out of you and to get off and to get all your stuff, prepared and ready to go. Not that they're checking in baggage and stuff like that. But it's still, it's a weird situation. And the Thunder media was trying their best to give the team excuses. Both Coach Daignault and Shai, Dort, Mike Muscala, everybody that talked at the post game, and every single one of them was like, nope, no big excuses. It was weird, sure, different situation, never happened before, but that wasn't the reason we lost. I like Mike Muscala said that Shai told the group before the game, hey, no excuses. We need to play to a certain standard. Let's play to that standard. And that said, the team played hard and the team played pretty well. They didn't have Al Horford. George Hill is still gone. This is a team that's not supposed to be winning. Anyways, we've kind of been spoiled by how competitive and close they've been against top teams. So seeing a Grizzly team that's right around 500, maybe some fans expected a win or it to come down to a final shot again or overtime again, like we've been spoiled by. But it was still a close competitive game until the last couple of minutes. And considering it's the second night of back-to-back, traveling 20 minutes before the game without Al Horford, I think that you got to be happy with the Thunder's performance.
Shai was finished with 22 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 6 of 14 from the floor, 2 of 5 from 3. Went perfect from the free throw line. I thought he played really well. I thought he just looked very, very himself. Didn't look rusty. Didn't look like he was dragging at all. The knee looked fine. He looked awesome.
Yeah, that's always my main takeaway. My first thing I don't look at win loss. I don't look at the box score overall as far as team stats. What I always look at is how did Shai do. That's like my main concern because he's the future of the franchise. Him and then whoever the Thunder end up getting in the 2021 and 22 drafts. So Shai played great, especially after a lot of time off. Like you said, he didn't look rusty. He scored 20 efficient points, and he was Shai. Shai is so predictable, but in a great way.
Mm-hmm.
He's never going to force shots. He's always going to make the right basketball plays. Probably going to score really efficiently, and he's just going to look solid doing it. The only question is he going to score 22 points or is he going to score 32 points? I mean, that's pretty much the only question. And then I look at how did Dort do, how did Bazley do, how did Maledon do, how did Poku do? Oh, he's in the G League when we check the blue box score. Because I'm concerned about, the guys who are going to be here for the long haul. And then I may look at Al Horford and George Hill if they're playing to see their box score to see what their trade value looks like.
No question. And speaking of Maledon, he played well. 14 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. He hit 4 of 5 from 3. Like the three-pointer, more times than not, he's shooting really well.
Yeah, he came into the game shooting 35.3%. Now he's up at 37.8%. I mean, that's great. I mean, that's considered a great shooter. And here he is, a rookie that got off to kind of a rough start. And he keeps bumping that shooting percentage up, which is what you want to see. He's scoring about 8 points a game in a limited role. He's playing 23 minutes per game. He's a 19-year-old rookie, taking number 34 overall. Half the time he's starting, half the time he's coming off the bench. I think overall you got to be happy with Theo Maledon's performance so far this year, especially when you look at kind of the performance he's had when he's playing with the starters, because it's been much better than it has been with the bench. And he was great tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was wanting some minutes for Maledon early in the season, more minutes with Shai, and now we're seeing pretty much all of his minutes come with Shai on the floor. And it's really exciting because he's such a great player, learning to play off the ball, learning to play on the ball. He's awesome. I've really enjoyed Theo so far. They also got a really strong night from Bazley. We've seen him be inconsistent with the shot, but tonight he was solid. Shot 50% from the floor, 50% from three, hit 4 out of 8. Was getting to his spots, had a couple easy ones that kind of went in and out, but thought he was really solid tonight. 18.7 boards, 2 assists.
Yeah, Baisley was great, and that's what you want to see from Baisley. Like you said, he's been so inconsistent as far as the scoring efficiency goes. He's been scoring well. His last several games 18 14, 18 7 9, 21 13 12, 18 15. So he's been scoring the ball. The question is, how many shots does it take to get there?
Right.
Tonight was one of those solid nights. A lot of it depends on his 3-point shot. And tonight his 3-point shot was falling. If Baisley could just settle into being around a 35% 3-point shooter, and I think he's got it in him, even though he's only shooting 29% on the season. If he could settle in as a 35% 3-point shooter, because that's what he shot last season.
Mm-hmm.
He shot 35% last season. He's 32% for his career, but that would make such a huge difference for him. His numbers, his efficiency would look so much better. And he's a guy that I think his game's better with confidence. The more confident he is, the better he plays. And when he sees a couple shots go down, he seems to be more aggressive, taking it to the basket as well. We saw that against the Bucks. He played really well, and he had a nice stretch, kind of a flurry to finish the game against the Bucks. But he's a confidence guy. I was glad to see him do well tonight. That's what he needs.
And Oklahoma City, I was thinking about it tonight. What would their record be, in the last 5 to 7 games if they had somebody that could grab consistent rebounds and keep guys off the glass? Another huge night on the glass for the opposing big. That was Valanciunas. He had 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 of those 12 rebounds came on the offensive end. Especially in that second half, they just had no answers for his rebounding.
Yeah, he's a beast. I got to be honest, though, Ryan. I think if Al Horford would have played tonight, this either would have been a win for the Thunder or it would have gone down to the wire. After Al Horford, the Thunder are just so undersized. I like Roby, but I'm still not sure if he's a 5 or not. We've talked about that. And he's going up against a guy that's a beast down low. Like you said, I mean, he just gobbles up boards and he's so massive. The Thunder just don't have anybody to combat that. You can throw Muscala, you can try to play Baisley at the 5. They just don't have the size to match up with him. So if Horford would have been there, I think this is a different game. So, you can interpret that whether that's a bad thing or not.
Yeah, I was thinking when I saw Horford come off the bench to clap it up with the guys after a timeout, Valanciunas had just scored. I was like, wow, he would have made quite the impact on this game. I thought Roby played well. I still, he's playing the 5. It's probably somewhat new, but he's getting to play in a ton of space, and he's getting to handle the ball when guys collapse in on Shai tonight, and that ball comes back out to him. I think he makes solid choices. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't look like he doesn't really know what to do with the ball in space. So I continue to be excited and impressed with Roby.
Yeah, me too. He scored 10 points tonight, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He's a good passer for a big.
He is.
And he had a double-double against the Trailblazers. I'm confident in Isaiah Roby's offensive game. I think he's skilled enough as a big to cut out a real role in the NBA. The only question is the defensive side. And honestly, he was considered a good defender coming out of college. I just don't think he's got the size to go up against 5s right now. And that's what the Thunder are doing just because they don't really have anybody else to do that when Horford's gone. So
Right.
the majority of his minutes going up against these guys that just outweigh him, that have a couple inches on him. If he was playing against 4s or if he had some size on him, maybe that defensive side would be better. But he's got a nice offensive package.
And this last little stretch for the Thunder, he's faced bigs like Jokic and Lopez and Giannis and Cantor and Valanciunas. These are guys that are they're a bit more traditional. And for a non-traditional big like Roby, it's just a handful, like you're saying.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, you can be excited about Isaiah Roby, though. He's kind of this diamond in the rough. He's just kind of this bonus gravy. Yeah. Like whatever he becomes, the Thunder got him for Justin Patton last season. I mean, and some cash considerations. I actually think that the Thunder got the cash considerations, if I remember right. So, I mean, yeah, this is whatever Isaiah Roby becomes. If he becomes, a role player that gets 15, 20 minutes off the bench for the Thunder for the next several years, that's fantastic value. And I think he would come with that. I really do.
Yeah, definitely could see it. And then Mike Muscala, another just incredible night shooting the three. He was 5 for 9, 55.5%, scored 21. Other than Shea was their highest leading scorer. He's just he's such a release valve at that stretch five position, and he's showing his worth hitting three after three.
I just don't know how there aren't going to be playoff teams, contenders that won't line up to give the Thunder something for Mike Muscala. He's too good as a backup center. He's too valuable as a stretch five. And his contract is nothing, and he's
Mhm.
expiring. If you're into that, I mean, there is no reason why all these teams, especially a lot of teams, have lost their starting center or backup center for an extended amount of time. I just can't imagine some team won't cough up something for Mike Muscala. I love having him here. He's great on the court and off the court. Such a classy dude and a fun dude. But I got to imagine Presti's going to get some calls on him.
And I was thinking about Muscala as somebody to throw into maybe if they find somebody that wants George Hill, um, and maybe it's, let's say George Hill goes, they're currently getting a top 14, a lottery protected pick for George Hill. Let's say they throw Muscala in there and that protection goes down to maybe top 8, top 10. He's somebody that can improve the asset coming back for Oklahoma City.
Completely agreed. Or if there's a team that's teetering on giving a first for George Hill, but Presti likes about where they're going to finish in the standings. Muscala is like the perfect sweetener. Like you said,
Mhm.
it can be for protections. It can be, I think, obviously on his own, he's not going to get back a first rounder. I think that on his own, he can get back a second rounder for sure. But Presti, I bet at this point, sure, he'll take second rounders. That's better than nothing. But he is interested in first rounders and young prospects. Maybe you throw in Mike Muscala as a sweetener to a Mo Bamba deal. Like if you're wanting to take roll the dice on a former lottery guy who's underperformed, like he's just like a great sweetener.
Totally. And another thing I was thinking was if they were to get, just another first in this upcoming draft, the potential of having four picks in the first round of this coming draft, I don't see you may not have to dip into the well of future picks to move up to where you want to get to if you've got four bites at the apple in the top 21, 22. I mean, it would be unbelievable.
Yeah, and if you have four picks, you have so many options. Let's say that you had, I'm just going to throw numbers out there. Let's just say that you had the 4 and the 9 pick, and you really wanted to move up to number 2 because you're in love with Mobley or Kaminga or whoever you want. Or you have the 21. Maybe the 4 and the 21 will move you up to 2, or maybe you got to use the 9 and there's just so many options. Presti used a few different picks to move up to 17 to get Poku. This could be like the supercharged version of that if he wanted to. If he's in love with a Kaminga or a Suggs or a Jalen Green or a Cade Cunningham. I mean, if he gets like the 2 and 4, maybe that entices somebody to give up Cade Cunningham. I'm sure that would entice somebody to give up Cade
That
Cunningham.
has to be enough, right?
Yeah,
2
it
and
would.
4.
It would. I'm just like spitballing like out loud, but yeah, you got to take that. I would actually be mad at Presti if he gave that up.
I
As much as
completely
I
agree.
like,
I was
yeah,
going to say the same.
yeah. As much as I like Cade, I'm just saying you're going to have options,
Yeah, you're exactly
uh,
right.
and I'd be surprised, even though they already have 2, potentially 3 first rounders in this draft. It's so stacked, and the rebuild is kind of escalating pretty quickly, possibly with SGA's rise, and then whatever they get from this draft. That maybe Presti wants another pick in this draft instead of pushing it back to 2022, 23, 24, 25, like he has all those other picks. It's fun to play with the Stankathon, Ryan. I got to be honest, as we've been talking, I've kind of just been pressing simulate just to see what happens. The
Yeah.
last three, OKC got the number 1 and number 8 pick, the number 2 and the number 8 pick, and then the number 3 and the number 7 pick. So, I mean, stop the count right now.
Stop the count. That's exactly what I was about to say. If Thunder fans, if you're feeling down about these losses, I'm telling you, Tankathon is your friend. It is there for you.
Yeah.
Go hit simulate lottery a few times. You'll get pretty excited. It is super fun to think about. This is a shortened 72 game season. We're 28 games in. We just have 44 more games to go, and we could be looking at some really exciting times headed into the NBA draft. Anything else that stood out to you tonight? I thought Dort had another solid night. His 3-pointer looks much better. He didn't shoot it great tonight, but the ones that are going in look like the ones that went in when he was shooting it really hot. I like the way he's moving off the ball. Love the way he's cutting and getting in the lane. Love how many times he's able to get to the free throw line per game. So, I'm constantly encouraged by Dort. I don't know what his ceiling is anymore.
Yeah. To me, Dort is separated from the pack. Coming into the season, we knew SGA was the guy. And then there was this pack of Dort, Baisley. We're kind of excited about Poku. Maladone seems kind of like a steal. Hami has kind of been coming on this season and looking really good. So it's this, whole pack of other guys. And Dort, to me, has completely separated himself. He's in as much of a tier on his own as SGA is in like tier 1. SGA is all alone. I think Thunder Young Core, Dort has solidified himself as all alone in tier 2. Above Baisley, even Hami, as well as he's performed this season, as exciting as Maladone is. Dort's defense is for real. I mean, Thunder fans aren't the only ones saying it. He's number 5 in NBA.com's Defensive Player of the Year ladder right now. Mm-hmm. And yet his shot is on and off, but he hits threes. I mean, he may go 1 for 7 tonight, but he's probably going to go 3 for 7 his next time out. Then he might go 1 for 6. Then he might go 4 for 9. He's going to keep shooting threes. And I just don't think he's a bad shooter. I don't think he's a 40% shooter like he was playing with, getting our hopes up earlier this season. That's not going to happen. But if he settles into like this 33%, 34% shooting, plus getting to the rim, scoring about 13, 14 points a night on decent efficiency, and playing Defensive Player of the Year defense on the other end, that is a great player. At 21 years old, that is fantastic. And he's going to get better.
And there's probably somebody screaming like, Ryan went 1 for 7 from 3. Yeah, I know. It's more about the way that he's taking them and the way that they look. It just looks like the shot's going to come around. And like you're saying, they're nice where they go in. They're nice where there were a few of them. They just don't. But I feel like he's shooting it with more confidence than he was shooting it, let's say 10, 14 days ago.
Yes, absolutely. He is. And it looks like a good shot. I mean, you watch, I hate to pick on him, but he's a net now with KD, so I can pick on him. Andre Robertson, you look at his shot and the mechanics of it, the release of it, the form of it. Then you look at Lou Dort's, and I mean, it's just a completely different deal as far as like how smooth it is, his release and all those things. So I think there's this fear because of Dre and because of Tabo and because of even like Dion Waiters that Thunder shooting guards, they're just not going to be able to shoot. I don't think we have to worry about Dort. He's not going to be a great shooter, but I think that he will be a solid enough shooter.
Oh, yeah, and he just does so many more things. Robertson was a little more limited, so when he wasn't hitting the 3, it was really tough to keep him out there at times. But Dort just does so many more things on the offensive end to justify a 1 for 7 night. And on top of the elite defense that he's playing. Oklahoma City goes to Milwaukee on Friday night. That one will be I'm kind of interested to see that one because they played the way they played the Bucks a few nights ago. I'm curious if there's a beatdown coming for the Bucks to get a little bit of revenge. What do you see coming from that game?
Yeah, I kind of expect the thing. Although at this point, I don't know if any team's going to beat down the Thunder anymore. I know that they had a couple big losses earlier in the season to the Lakers and the Pelicans, but then look what happened when the Thunder played those teams again.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so obviously, talent discrepancy, anything can happen on any given night. Yeah, the Thunder can get beat down, but they just are so competitive and they just don't lay down for anybody. That said, I expect the Bucks to win fairly convincingly. The Thunder stole one from them. I'm sure they think the Bucks have lost 4 in a row. They're going to be at home. They have too much pride and way too much talent. And if they get Drew Holiday back, I mean, come on. You know, hey, just look at it as that's another lottery ball. If Drew Holiday's back and the Bucks come out motivated because of the Thunder beating them last time.
Sounds like a Thunder win.
Yeah, seriously, for this season, it really does. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you just with
You
this
just
team,
never know.
there are no surprises
Yep.
because they just can't surprise us anymore. They just keep doing the unexpected. So I'm not going to
Yep.
be surprised anymore.
All right, we will wrap it there. Thanks for joining us, Thunder fans. We will be back on Friday night after Thunder Bucks. And Brandon, thanks for joining.
Absolutely, man. Have a good night, Ryan.
All right, cheers.